now behind you is Trinity Church. First dating back to the 1600s, this model of it was actually completed in 1890. But originally, when Trinity Church was built, the British were here, and they charged a tax on this land. Kind of a symbolic tax of 1 peppercorn a year. Again, what are they going to do with that? It's more just to let the Americans know that we still own this place. And so actually when Queen Elizabeth II came here in 1976, the U.S. paid her 279 peppercorns as a token of the overdue rent for this place. It is one of New York's most famous and historic churches, but even more historic and famous than that might be its graveyard, which we're standing in right now. New York legends such as Robert Fulton, right here, are buried here. Robert Fulton was the inventor of the steamship. The steamship, the Clermont, first sailed up the Hudson, whereas it would take 32 days usually, it only took him 1 day. Really revolutionized the way people travel by sea and water. Then on my right is the commemoration to Alexander Hamilton. As I mentioned at our previous stop, he is America's father of finance. But he was not without enemies. That's why he's he would be in the ground anyway, but he got in the ground sooner rather than later, in the early 1800s. His rivalry with Aaron Burr, who was the Vice President of the United States, led to them chartering a couple of boats, rowing across the Hudson to New Jersey, the lawless land of New Jersey. If you've ever seen The Sopranos, that's probably why they went over there. They went over there for a duel. In that day, duels were still legal in Jersey. And so how duels work would be that the two would line up back to back, take a couple paces, spread apart, and on the count of 3, fire at each other. That was disputed. What happened was Burr shot Hamilton and Hamilton died. What was disputed afterwards was if Hamilton was even really trying to shoot Burr. According to many sources, it was Hamilton who thought it was more of a symbolic gesture of their rivalry, that these two were not wussies, they were men. They were going there and they were unafraid to shoot a bullet whizzing by their head. It was said that Hamilton shot it a few meters in the air above Burr's head. Burr did not get the message, planted one right in Hamilton. And that's why he's lying here today. However, it works out for Hamilton that he's here because one of his great creations, one of his great trials of his life, the Bank of New York, he can stare at while he's sleeping. The Bank of New York headquarters are right there across the street, and so it is kind of funny that 250 years later, Hamilton can still observe the people he hired. Now, our next stop will be Zuccotti Park, a little bit down Broadway. But as we move on Broadway, I want you to look at your feet. And there you can see different plaques commemorating different events. At our next stop, I'll tell you what that means.